What's going on, you beautiful people?
I don't know what I'm going to talk about right now. Back to that place. I think this time it's because there's so many things that I want to weave together and make a tapestry out of for people. And I've had a lot of questions and some referring to my older videos that I had taken down and a bunch of new information and some things I've been paying attention to. So I guess maybe this video will be about the process of producing information. As I've been, I got off a little bit of a fast and I started eating a lot. I started cooking, doing a lot of alchemy, like just cooking in the kitchen and putting together a lot of different herbs and spices, and going through some of my older methodologies of healing practices with foods and things, and thinking about the different types of information that we let into our eyes, and thinking of this dark room meditations, or like Montauk Chai, or even sitting in a salt tub and going in a float tank, that kind of thing, and whether it's just even a dark room and doing a meditation, whatever it might be, and thinking about the different ways that information is ingested, digested, and framed into some sort of something that hey, this is what needs, this is how this is what it looks like, this is what I want to say, this will help your life, this is here's a way to organize and look at information. And this comes on the back of eating a lot. I just been digesting food and just like relaxing and sitting in a very simple place, just sitting and eating and digesting food and thinking about things. And then at other times it's no food at all. Like even earlier today, get up and go out and just lay in the field and stare at the sun and see what kind of information I get from that. Or even lay underneath a tree, what kind of information is coming into me. While there might not be, say, a lot of density, there's different types of information and how to process it. And going through that kind of thought process, as I'm kind of just free thinking here, and going through like a process of just talking through whatever, I'm kind of juggling a bunch of things in my mind that people wanted me to talk about and things that I wanted to talk about, which included blood types, hybridization, aliens. There's always that tone just of where we all are with the globe, flat Earth thing that kind of finds its way into like it needs to be part of the talk in some way. And then there's this big thing about consciousness, and then the way we're eating and how the planet's being treated, and how we're each taking care of ourselves individually and as a group collective, and then looking at the media and looking at the governments, and then looking at the bigger things that are going on TV, like, oh, there are some hurricanes. Now, looking at that from many different angles, it's an interesting dialectic. It's an interesting conversation, because certainly we've been told there's quite a bit of man-made weather, government installation of seeding clouds and pushing hot air into systems and cold air, and putting there's ways of doing this. It's been going on for a long time, and most people just are not aware of it, and for the people that are aware of it, like what to do about it. And then we step that up to the next level of thought, which, because I've been having a long conversation with someone about, well, there's obviously our consciousness affects things, and we were talking about the idea of, well, if a bunch of us got together because we had noticed somebody had put together like, hey, let's all consciously focus on this hurricane and make it stop happening, and the thought game went like, okay, that's great, like, because we know obviously we're all empathetic, caring people here, and we don't want anybody to be hurt, but there is this larger thing of like, well, what would happen? Okay, if we all just got together, we meditated, we put out a bunch of really good energy, and we put our minds together and we stopped this hurricane. What would happen? What would that prove? What would it do? I mean, would it prove to us that we could continually do something like that? I mean, in a very, in a very, like in a positive way, yeah, but in a negative way, like okay, we stop it. So what? So what? It's about to hit Florida. What is Florida? I mean, really, this is just like this is just real talk. What is Florida? It's an oasis for old, rich white people that are diseased, decayed, and invest their money in their ideas into ignorance, hate, and filth, and they just live in the most beautiful spot in the country, really. Which and then what else is there? A bunch of plasticized Barbie dolls and meatheads. I mean, I'm not, love for all of them, absolutely. But like, that's the population it's about to strike. Oh, and Disneyland or Disney World. Yeah, I mean, is Disney World really like, is that really the best our country can do? Is an amusement park and a recreational park for old people, and Miami where it's just like beaches filled with plastic fake people and fake ideas and like I mean really I mean okay, so a couple hurricanes hit it, knocked down all of that property. Wouldn't that be a better thing to keep, get the I mean, let's talk about it a little further. I mean, it's a joke but it's true. Hey, isn't it interesting that maybe it's Maya, maybe it's Mother Earth doing this, and it's like, hey, isn't it interesting that it's almost as if America is built on some ancient Indian burial ground. I mean, let's be honest here. Where this place, this land has been here for a very long time, and the people that lived here were definitely brown. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the slave trade and the ignorance and lies of that and the textbooks and all of that. I'm not going to get into that now. But like just looking at this situation with the hurricane and the next hurricane, and we can look at it as man-made or not. It doesn't really matter. But whether it hits the land or it doesn't, like, I mean, we can see from many different standpoints what the maybe the agenda is, what the idea is. Like, hey, look, we can scare people in the media. Like, maybe it's not as big as they say, but they're just, blowing smoke up everybody's ass just to say, hey, we can make people move. We can get them right out of here, and then we'll go in here and basically. I mean, we know how it works. That's the thing. And so what's the solution to make even if the hurricane was stopped because of consciousness, because of people coming together and no, that won't happen. Like, what does it do to the larger thing? Then they just go, oh well, they'll just produce another one. What's the difference? Like, what's the everybody's like, what's the end game here? What's the goal? What's the and it even gets into the larger thing, like, oh, the world order, Freemasonry, and all of this. Like, people don't really get what's going on here. Like, who cares? Like, they would have already. Like, the New World Order has been here for 1,000 years, or whatever. I don't know. And when here, I don't know where here is, like, on this planet, or on this flat plane, or in America, overseas. I mean, what does it matter? So this hurricane's coming, and what happens? Oh, it's gonna knock down the Seminole Stadium. Oh, the Seminoles? You mean the native to the land here, the people that were like shamans taking care of the land, and then they decided, like, the white man, I would just call it that, comes here and degrades and destroys and takes the land, and then let's build a monument to the Seminoles and play football on it, like really running around playing an idiotic sport over top of really burial grounds where people were slaughtered and mass genocide happened. Wow. Well, I mean, hey, don't kill the messenger. It's funny, right? It's cute, right? But here we all are. Like, what should happen? Nobody does anything and just goes through its course. What is the result afterwards? Because, like, I mean, you got this hurricane. There's one coming after that, and then as far as I could tell on the news, it looked like they were trying to make a third one. And then there was a bunch of other predictive programming nonsense that was going on. And I don't mean it nonsense, but I mean, like, that's how the larger occult black magic. And I say black magic, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because there's good magic and bad magic on both the black and white scale, because there's obviously full spectrum magic, and there's a lot of other scientific things going on, and universal law that applies to this entire, wherever we are. I don't know what's been going on for this longest time since since we as far back as we can look, and how this shit show has occurred on this planet, and looking at, like, we can get into all the clocks and the Mayans, and who all of the ancients were, and are they still here, and are they on a different frequency, and I mean, those are a lot of really interesting dialogues to have. But certainly where we sit as a people, and looking at people with badges and people that claim some sort of divine power because of though they were voted in or something, like to some sort of government agency, or even though they weren't, and it's all paperwork and nonsense, and it's like, but hold on, but let's just slow down here. We're all just humans here, right? And I mean, okay, I guess you came from a good bloodline or something. But then we got to play that really long game, that really long-winded one. That goes too far for most people. Well, we'll do that another time. That's for a different talk. But for here, I think the interesting thing, the thing that people can go, okay, what needs to be, what would the masses need to know? The general population, what do they need to know? I was listening to David Banner on his Instagram. He was saying he was reading an old book, and it was talking about, like, don't give this information to anyone, because the people that are doing evil with it will just basically shun you and make fun of you, and for the people that are too stupid, they won't know what's going on either. They'll think you're an idiot. It's that old, you don't throw pearls to swine. That's the thing, right? And it becomes that's the very confusing part in all of this. How do you tell the masses? Do they care? Are they going to do anything about it? Like, you'd be like, man, you guys, you're getting fooled here. Like, this is the biggest okie dokie. This is the biggest, what do they call it? A road and pony show. Like, this is like, the media is not on your side. They're not on your team. And then you got to, then it's like, even within those groups, it's like, they don't even know what they're doing. Like, the people in the media, they're just reading a script. They don't know any better. They don't know the larger agenda. That's a troubling part. Somebody was talking to me about their grandparents being Freemasons, being in the Scottish Rite, and somebody else was, and then that person was talking to their grandfather about magic, about white magic, and their grandfather was so upset, so enraged, and so like it was. She said it was profound, like how upset he was, and I was like, yeah, well, he's upset because he's a low-level peon black magician that doesn't know what he's doing. He got to be part of an occult, a cult, basically. So figure this: you have a very high-level occultist that knows how to bring, say, an interdimensional demon or some sort of being to hear by using certain harmonics and frequencies and tones, and then what they need is more energy of humans, and so they get a bunch of people, and now these people, they see this happen, but they know they're not doing it. They think that really high level magician's doing it, and so they see the workings, and so they become completely like, oh, well, that's crazy. Magic is crazy. This is weird. I'm already part of this, but there's nothing I can do. I just got to feed my family. So if somebody starts talking about any kind of magic, any kind of white magic, this magic, these people, they get scared because they've seen it. They've seen, probably. I mean, I can't be certain. I don't know these people. I'm just making a couple guesses, educated guesses, I guess. It seems that, maybe that's what occurred. A bunch of people got around, and like it's like this too. Let me just take it to the next level. People are like, oh, these people in Hollywood, they're evil occultists. Da, 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 da. Half of these people, at least, I know, I would say 99% of these people that are actors and these people in Hollywood, they don't know what's going on. They wanted a paycheck. They wanted to be an actor. They wanted to, like, have fun and make money and travel and put a show on for people and, like, just say, hey, I want to tell a story. That's what they wanted to do. They weren't out here like, hey, I'm going to be part of this evil cabal that's going to destroy and ruin the world. I mean, could you imagine anybody coming out the womb like, liable to destroy the evil world? Like, yeah, there's people that have obvious problems because of the way they were brought up in the world, but 99.9% of these people, that you can't, like, point these fingers and go, oh, they know what's going on in Hollywood. No, these people in Hollywood, they're sitting there reading a script, working in movies, running around, doing, promos for their movies, having a good time with their friends, doing whatever they're doing. They're not like
there's only a few number of them are highly educated, and even those ones are not like high level occultists. They're not doing the magic. They're part of it. They're part of the show, but they don't. There's no way they have time or they even want to see that, like, hey, 10 levels above you, there's some people pulling some strings to make your show, to make the movies that you're in. They're pushing an agenda. They can't see that. They're making millions of dollars to like live their life. No one can just go point and say, oh, even people in corporations, you can't just go, oh, they're doing something evil or whatever. There are some people that have an agenda, but how do you inform these lower level people, like these people inside of these businesses and mid-level executives, high-level executives, people that are working within even the movie industry, whatever it might be, wherever, you can go all over the place. How do you convince them, like, hey, there's some crazy shit going on, and you need to, like, let's move this energy over to something else. That's what you need. That's the only way it can be done, unless you can offer them an easy solution out of the mix of what would be considered the evil or black cabal of magic. And again, once again, not all black magic is evil, and it's not all bad. Just remember that. But to convince them, like, hey, you're selling, the popsicles you're selling have high fructose corn syrup in it, okay, and that's not good. So either there's a way you can inform them to get their company to change that over to actual sugar, because that's going to be way better for everyone, and everyone's going to have a better time with that. Unless you can say, hey, can we somehow do that, or hey, come over here, we have another way that you can use your energy and put it to something useful for humanity. And that's what there isn't that there. Buckminster Fuller said, the only way to destroy a system is actually not to destroy it at all, but to make a new system and make the old system obsolete. So this obsolescence of systems, and this ties in everything I was just talking about with ingestion and digestion and how to process information and what comes out of it. And it even gets into, like, all of these other people that are in different industries. Like, what alternative do they have? Before it was what's alternative fuel, or alternative medicine, alternative this. And it's like, what other systems can people get involved in that will give them equal footing in, like, say, the monetary system? Because most people are like, nah, I can't take a job making $10,000 less a year. They can't do that. They're not going to take a risk to make less money so they can't feed their family. That's where this whole thing gets all kind of it's a very interesting, delicate, slippery slope of weirdness. And I say that like, if you gave anybody the option of selling their family and people all across the planet a shit popsicle, or to sell them a popsicle that was made, that's of like good sugar and good ingredients, like that, there's no one's gonna choose to sell the shit popsicle. No one would sell hot dogs, lips and assholes. No one would sell that. No one would be out there like, hey, let's go murder these animals and put this through this machine and sell this. It wouldn't happen. It couldn't happen. But the alternative to that is what? You're gonna convince somebody, oh, here, come work on this farm. Well, I got this cozy desk job. I'm making $100,000 a year selling hot dogs. My family's taken care of. I'm good. Yeah, but if you work on this farm, well, we'll pay you $10,000 a year, and you get some good foods and vegetables. What are you talking about? Like, I take vacations. I got a car. I got mortgage. I got all things to pay. What are you talking about? I can't do that. See, that's the thing. So when I try to take that larger thing, because that's a larger concept people really need to kind of consider, and then tie that in with this hurricane thing and what's going on, like, with insurance money and FEMA and the governments and whatever, the gun grab and what the media is trying to say, and it spins into this really strange position of like, okay, if magic is real, if the ancestors are still around, if science is actually here for our good, if, like, all of these things, what happens with this hurricane? What is the outcome? Well, do we go back there? Does everybody go back there and build all these houses back up the way they were built? I mean, put these old folks' homes back together so we can ship down a bunch of raisins, white raisins, just plop there just to die out their last days while they're eating pills and confused on everything, have no idea what's going on, and have like no awareness whatsoever. Their lives are like really absolutely, and it's next. They're just off into oblivion. They could be sitting anywhere doing that, and then you get into I don't know, man. This is just some of my thoughts. This is some of the conversations I've had, and I do wonder, what is the solution and outcome? Because there's people that this is the thing, is going to the highest level of like people that have jobs and are making a lot of money. Like just like, what is their alternative? If you were making $5 million a year and your alternative was like, no, well, here, we're gonna do this thing where everybody works together, and you're only gonna make $50,000 a year. Like, who's gonna pick that? That's the thing, is like, oh no, but listen, here's what's gonna happen, because the Venus Project and Jacques Fresco and money is like, it's just a fiat currency, it doesn't really matter, and like, okay, but to a lot of people that really understand how that works, like, we get how that works, but that doesn't mean it can be implemented to a bunch of people that have minds of dinosaurs. That okay, I have my power, I'm in my position, I'm good. That's what people say. They have no there is no benefit to them doing anything different, especially because they live a life, they've had to live a life without compassion, without empathy, they have what they need. They have physical objects. They don't. So this goes into this, these hurricane things. I don't know, man. I guess this is just more of a talk, and just maybe thoughts that you can put through your head too, and put through the churn out the butter, and see what you think about that. And I don't know. Comment below. I don't. Like I said, when I started talking here, there was a lot of things I wanted to tie in together, because I did have a lot of lessons for people on things, as my newer videos have been kind of getting into plasma and blood and blood types and cleansing of the body. I mean, these are always, obviously all my videos are going to be out there like that for everybody, and give you a lot of solutions. But there are larger things going on. Like, everybody's like, there's this collective thing that we're all part of. And it's like how to inform the people that have the money, that have the power, the control, to say, hey, listen, it works out all better for everybody, including yourself, if we don't really need hurricanes to, we can kind of get these old people. They're already on drugs. They're not going to care where they live. We could just ship them right into the middle of the country next to a lake. They'll do just fine. In fact, they'll be better next to a lake, because they're not going to have to worry about if there is hurricanes coming. They're not going to have to worry about, they can all just sit around there, play with the ducks, and stare into the clean, pure water, and they can drink the water, and maybe, just maybe, if by drinking that pure water and being outside, they'll start to get some of their memory back, and they'll be able to get off some of those drugs. And hey, don't let Zen go too far with this, and give you all the solutions of how to solve dementia with sunshine, clean water, a little bit of exercise, and some brain exercises. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys later today. I'll try to focus in on a couple of the ideas that I had, and kind of continue on those last videos I had about. I was going on about spherocytis, erythrocytis, blood plasma, televisions, getting out of body, time travel, your brain, pineal gland, different kinds of foods, water, healing mechanisms. I'll get into all that later, but I hope you enjoyed the little chitty chat. And as always, have fun, do cool things, inspire the world, and if you can't do that, at least inspire yourself.